Hi, I'm Joshua Ruskin, and right now I'm quarantined here in Medellin, Colombia. And since we're all quarantined together in our homes, I thought this would be a very good time to talking about 10 benefits from working from home. And the first benefit is that job security. I know my best friend and lots of other people cannot work right now because the government deemed their jobs unnecessary and we're all quarantined. And so a lot of people have no jobs at the moment, either got laid off or cannot work right now. And if they had the option to work from home, they would still be making money and having their job. I know that most Americans, majority, are one unexpected $400 or $500 bill away from being financially ruined. And that sounds very bleak. So you have to think to yourself, like, you really can't be in jeopardy like this ever again. The fact that this was just a virus, but there's more than just, a virus that could come about. When you are forced to work at a specific location, there are lots of contingencies that come about with that. Think about just like bad weather, right? It snows. You can't get on the road. You have to drive to work, right? So any other thing that happens, major car accidents, it's snowing, tornado, fires. We've had fires in California. Any kind of natural disaster that somehow impedes your way to get to work, make sure that's it. So you can't be working, and that's income loss. That puts a big risk. For you not getting paid is just the weather. That's natural disasters, but other disasters that could occur, war, virus, whatever the reason is, the fact that you have to be at a specific location really puts your job at risk because it ruins your job security. You really want to have a job that you can have the ability to work from home if need be, so that you aren't put at risk, and this will really help your job security. Number 2 benefit for working from home is the ability to travel. Now, some of you might not want to travel. You might just want to be at home with your kids and play with your dog or whatever. But a lot of other people do want to travel. I know I want to travel. So even if you don't want to travel per se, you might want to, let's say, take a week vacation to go to Disneyland or Hawaii or whatever. But wouldn't it be nice to be making money while you're on vacation, while you are traveling? So the benefit of having a work from home job is that you get to travel. You got to work wherever there is you probably need internet. So wherever there's good internet, but a lot of times you don't even need internet. You can just work from home and then do your work and then upload the work later. Core benefit number 3 is flexible work schedule. So we kind of talked about where you worked. Now we're going to talk about when you work. So obviously there's going to be some times where you're going to need to work a specific time. Like if you've got a meeting you have to show up for, clearly you have to be on for that meeting. But a lot of the other rest of the time you don't need to actually be working at a certain time. So for me, I get up pretty early, but sometimes I sleep in. And I haven't had an alarm since I've been working abroad, working from home. I used to have an alarm before going to work. Now I don't even bother with one. Also, sometimes, especially after a big meal, like a big lunch, I like to take a couple hours nap. I would never be able to do that at an office, at a normal job, but consider work from home, I can take the breaks I want. I can even work weekends. Sometimes I like working. I like my job. So sometimes I'm biting at the bit for Monday to get back up. And so I'll work weekends sometimes. I feel like it. Other times, truthfully, I feel the exact opposite, where I'll wake up one day, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling very energized. I'm not feeling very focused. And so I'll do what needs to be done. I'll do my emails. I'll do my calls. But then I just won't work because I'm just not in the zone. So the ability to work from home gives you a lot more of a flexible schedule. You can work, generally when you want, what days you want, what hours you want, which for me, is a fantastic benefit. So core concept number 4, you can choose your own office. So sort of like what we talked about, where you work, when you work. Now it's kind of more like a what you work with. There's lots of options for home offices. You could do it in your home, in your bedroom. You can make another room of your house an home office. So there's many places to choose where you want to work. For me, I have two monitors and the laptop I want. I'm kind of messy, so I'll have a bunch of food next to me, which will never be able to happen in an office. Sometimes I want to work from my bed. I just want to lay down and work from the bed. The core benefit is that you really can choose what your work situation's like if you work from home. Core benefit number 5 is you get to wear whatever you want. Just like you can work kind of where you want in terms of how you want your desk, how you want your laptop, how you want your setup to generally be, you can wear what you want when you work from home. Especially if you're not on camera, you can wear whatever comfy clothes you want. I remember having to always think about and playing the fine line of being dressed well enough but not overdressed. Going to the office, especially with the interviews, and with this, just wear what's comfortable, wear what's you. It's a huge benefit for some people. Core benefit number 6 is this will save you a bunch of time. So off of just commuting to and from work, that's about, I believe, an average of roughly an hour a day you spend to and from work, sometimes a lot longer. I also know statistically that you're more happy earning less money but having a smaller commute than you would be on the flip side having a long commute but making more money. So commutes literally drive you insane and will make you unhappy, especially if it's traffic. And obviously if you're driving to and from work, you're almost always driving to and from work during rush hour, which is universally loathed. So if you work from home, there is no commute. You don't have to do any of that. You save yourself a bunch of time. You don't have to, like you just mentioned, dressing up. You don't have to dress up. You don't have to, make your hair all pretty and put on makeup and all that. No, you just wake up, make your breakfast and then get to work. It's a huge time saver. So that leads also not to saving time, but it also saves you a lot of money working from home. You can do a lot of cool maneuvers if you can free yourself and become location independent. There's a couple things off the top of my head. If you were to actually be living abroad and working from home as a freelancer, or having an online job, or owning your own company, there's something called the foreign earned income exclusion. I'll do another video about that different time. But you can essentially pay virtually no taxes on the first $106,000 you earn if you are living abroad. Also, health insurance is drastically cheaper if you can be out of the country for a fair amount out of the year. But even if you're not into that, not into traveling around the world, and you kind of want to stay in your one city, one state, you're still a lot of money to be saved from working from home. Off the bat, we talked about commuting. Count that off now, right? You don't have to pay for gas going back and forth, paying for the bridge toll, the freeway toll. That's all gone. And even beyond that, right? Like, you don't have to eat out as much. You can cook for yourself. Since we know commuting is so bad for your happiness, a lot of people, would choose to be living in a place with a smaller commute, even though it's way more expensive. Well, now that the commute's out of the equation, you don't actually have to live close to the office that you work out of, right? And usually the office, let's be real, is going to be downtown, or it's going to be, an expensive part of the city, most likely. Now you can live not in the most expensive downtown area. You can live, further away. Not downtown, right? Or even in an entirely different city, in an entirely different state. So, huge benefit for working from home is the ability to save large amounts of money. So saving not just time, but saving lots of money. Core benefit number 8. Personal growth was something that I care a lot about. You have the ability to control your own time. And so a lot of the time I feel that what gets done in the office, you've got 8 hours a day, but realistically only half that day, and a lot of business owners will say the same thing, half your employees' day is actually billable, workable hours. So if you bring your employee in for 8 hours, expect to get 4 real working hours out of them. And that's just the reality. You can get those 4 hours done And I think you can get it done in 3 hours. Most people in 3 hours to get their jobs done. If they're really focused, what I have to do is I have to spend an hour, hour and a half of just real deep focus and like do like 2 sets of those, maybe 3 sets. And so if you can just get that, you've got all this free time, this personal time to develop yourself. Whereas, you would say you're a rock star, right, at your job. You get, all 8 hours done in the first 4 hours of the day. What happens? Your colleagues throw more work at you, your boss throws more work at you. But if you work from home, you've got those 4 extra hours to really spend that time to develop yourself and to really build new skill sets. Maybe you want to go to the gym. Maybe you want to take your dog for a walk to really grow. And I'm really into personal growth. It's one of the things I think I'm really passionate about, is just to always be learning, always be growing. So the ability to work from home gives you a lot of time to do personal growth and to really develop yourself and to make yourself more and more valuable, or at least make yourself more and more happy. Core benefit number 9, independence. The independence and freedom you get working from home, I can't fully express it into words. I'd have a very hard time going back unless I really enjoyed the office and enjoyed the people. I think not just me, but when we were kids, I think a lot of us found it very frustrating that we had to go to school, had to learn, math, science, English, history, like these core subjects, and we didn't get a choice of what subjects we wanted to study, when we wanted to study them. And I think also frustrating would be if you were either, ahead of your class or behind your class. You were stuck to the level that your class was, to your colleagues, to whatever the other 20, 30 people in your class were. Whatever that average was is at the pace you would go. And that's what happens with work too. It's the same thing. You graduate from school, go to college, and you get a job. But we're all programmed to think and do the same things we did in school, right? We're all going to be, as a group, hindered by the slower performers. And if you want to go fast and be productive, it doesn't matter. You're there for 8 or 9 hours a day. You severely lack freedom and independence when you have to work for somebody else in their office. You've got little control. Whereas work from home, obviously you've got a lot of control, a lot of responsibilities, and not everyone can handle it. But if you train yourself, I think most people can. And it has a lot of benefits in terms of, I guess, personal freedom and independence that a lot of people, really do want for themselves, and why a lot of people, I think, want to become business owners versus be employees. I think most people don't actually want to run a business. I think it's kind of hard, but I think what people see when they see business owners is that the freedom that they have. And you can get a very similar freedom by just working from home instead of actually owning a business. Last but not least, and I think this is especially important right now with or going through the coronavirus and social distancing and isolation, is that when you work from home, you've got more time for your friends and family and loved ones. Whether that be your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, son, daughter, wife, husband, whatever it may be. Most people don't spend enough time with their loved ones. There was a whole list of the top 10 things that people regret in their lifetime, and I believe the top one was fear of not going through and doing something that they regret not doing. But one of the top ones, I think number 2 and number 3, was not spending enough time with their loved ones. So considering that's like a universal pain that people have, especially in their older years when when time is limited and they're on their deathbed, time is very valuable. We talk a lot about money with this, and having the ability to work from home and not having to suffer when something like this comes along, when the coronavirus lets you not work from your office. But beyond the money, it really is a huge time loss to have to go to work every day and not see your loved ones. You're spending more time with your colleagues and your boss than you are with your son, daughter, husband, wife. And that's sad. The ability to work from home really gives you the ability to be present, to take care of your kids, to take care of your family, to take care of your dog if you don't have a family yet. It really is. It really is amazing. So I hope those give you good reasons to try to really work on getting a job from home, and really kind of focus on either asking your boss if you can work from home, or finding a job to work from home or creating your own job we work from home. We hope this was helpful. Hope I convinced you that it is wise to try to work from home or get a work from home job. And until next time, God bless, and I hope you guys do well, and stay safe. It's strange times, but hopefully in a few months things will be back to normal. All right, well, I hope everyone does well, and take care.